I am so excited. I just recorded this episode with Michelle only on the 31st, but it was so good that I had to drop it early. I had to drop it. It wasn't supposed to come out until March, but I felt like this conversation was so good. It was so important. It was so timely that it had to come out right now. So Michelle and I are going to talk about why Christians need to make money and develop as a leader, men and women, why the time is now, and the ramifications of us not stepping into our full purpose. So enjoy this episode with my dear friend, Michelle Schaefer. Hey friend, welcome to Milk and Honey with Lemon. The Bible says in Numbers 14:8, and if the Lord is pleased with us, he will bring us safely into that land and give it to us. It is a rich land flowing with milk and honey. On this podcast, we talk about stepping into that overflow that God has for us by becoming those ultimate Proverbs 31 women. Hey, I'm Lemon. I am just like you, sister friend. I knew God had something more in store for me, but I couldn't see a way out of the laundry piles. And frankly, I resented that Proverbs 31 woman. How was I going to live up to the hype? That is until I found out how to really step into becoming this Proverbs 31 woman through leadership development. In this podcast, you're going to find financial freedom, leadership growth, and motivation so you'll be able to do all the things God has called you to do with ease and really step into that land of milk and honey. Now, before Michelle and I get into this, what I want to encourage you to do is come and join me in Radiant Leadership Academy. Michelle and I are going to talk all about leadership. We're going to talk about financial opportunity, and we have it here at Girl Power Alliance. I'll just be very honest. We have it here. I have seen more growth in myself, more leadership in myself, and I've been able to provide for my family. I just had a conversation with someone the other day who was stressed about her trips to Costco. Babe, you don't have to feel that kind of stress anymore. Okay, I have an opportunity for you. So come and join me. If you're listening to this episode before the 7th and you want to step into leadership, then just reach out to me. Send me a message on Instagram. Click the link in the show notes. Go to girlpoweralliance.com/lemon. Any of those things. Sign up as a VIP ambassador. You're going to want to do that because then you can develop as a leader and you can provide a radically different financial situation for your family. I will help you personally make over $1,000 in the month of February if you do this passively. Like I'm talking residual income in your world over $1,000. Let's do it. Welcome back to the Milk and Honey podcast. I'm your host, Lemon Price, and I am so excited because I have my friend Michelle Schaefer here. Michelle was on the podcast a year ago when we launched, and so much she was my first guest on the podcast. You were my first guest. And so it just feels fitting. I get an email every week that your episode still gets downloaded all the way back from January of 23. And I wanted to bring you back on here to talk about leadership. And so I'm going to really quickly give you Michelle's background. Michelle is a wife and a mom and a grandmother, which doesn't feel correct to say. I hope you don't do you call yourself grandma? Probably.
I have officially adopted Gigi as my title.
Yes. That's it. You're a Gigi. See, because you're too young and beautiful to be a grandma. I think of grandmas as not you. So
I
anyway,
still have a grandma. So
I love my cute old grandma, but you're not that. Michelle you have 2 books out. She is the creator of the Radiant Leadership Academy. She's the creator of Girl Power Alliance. She's done multi-7 figures in network marketing. She's an incredible friend. And I am just so excited to have you here.
I love you. I'm so proud of you. The statistics, I'm sure you know this on podcasts, is most people don't even make it to a year. So celebrate the fact that you've already shattered the statistics. Your podcast is doing amazing. And you are a tremendous leader inside of Girl Power Alliance and just a wonderful human. I love you. You're a great mother. You're a great wife. You're a tremendous leader. I love you.
Oh my gosh, you can't make me cry when we're recording. That would be not cool, but I love you so much. So I want to talk because a lot has changed in Girl Power Alliance in women in leadership, but nothing's changed. It hasn't changed, but it has changed. And so I wanted to talk about this culture shift, what we're seeing with women. A lot has happened in 2023 in Girl Power Alliance.
Yeah, it feels like it. Yeah. I will just say that in 2019, when I felt like God was calling me somewhere, I didn't know where, but I knew he was calling me somewhere other than where I was. And then the idea began to be birthed about what would turn into Girl Power Alliance that got founded and started in 2020 was I felt at that time, and I know for sure this is what God was doing. He was calling me, oh, literally, I was on this path going this way, and he like, you're going to go this way now. And it was away from the profession of network marketing, which I've loved. I have loved network marketing. It's not perfect and there's been terrible things, but overall, I've loved it. So I felt mad, sad, disappointed, afraid, but I'm going to be obedient to what God asks me. You can count on me for that. Girl Power Alliance began as a membership, as a personal professional membership, development membership for Christian women, a place where women could be ambitious and love Jesus. And how do you do those things together at the same time? And it was great. The culture was amazing. We had started the podcast and had contributors, and it was really good. But it was just slow. Women would come and it was very typical membership. The attrition rate was pretty high. They'd stick around for a few months and then leave. It's very standard. Like if you look at memberships across the board, they have around a 3 to 4 month lifespan. That's what it is with those kind of memberships. And so that's what we were sticking to. And even though women, they would write their email, I need to cancel. I have loved this, been so amazing, but just whatever. There was no incentive, I think, to stay, even though they loved it and they loved the community. So I knew something was missing. I didn't know what it was. I'd pray, Lord, 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 what am I missing? Because I literally walked away from $1 million income to make nothing. And we have to make income. I mean, Zig Ziglar says money isn't everything, but it's right up there with air. And that's the truth when it comes to necessities of this life. Anyway, when we transitioned over from a membership into a full-blown network marketing company with the membership as the product, we started from scratch. A lot of the people that were in the membership, we grandfathered them in, but a lot of them didn't come over. They just stayed in the membership because I knew because of the attrition rate, eventually they'd be gone. And a few came over with us, but the language that we used in the membership was still the language that was being used inside this new network marketing company. And so what I have seen a lot in the last year is the language had to change. Because I traveled, I came to you twice last year. I traveled all around the United States and Canada last year, meeting up with people doing what we call the Be the Change events. And at every single event that I went to, every single one without fail, at least one person would come to me and say, wow, thank you. I didn't even know what I was coming to tonight because the language was wrong. And I consider that a bait and switch. Don't you?
Oh, you know how I feel about the bait and switch.
Yes, I do. But it felt like, and they weren't doing it on purpose. But it was like, oh, it's this great community and it's these amazing women and we love the Lord. And all of that is true. But I will tell you that building a community inside of a network marketing company is completely different than building a support system or a community anywhere else. There is something unique. And even those of you that you have jobs and you go to work and you have you make friends at your job. The difference is at a job, you guys have to show up every day. So you're forced friends. And luckily, hopefully you have good people around you that you like and they become your friends. But in network marketing, it's a volunteer army. So you get to select who you work with. You get to select who you learn from. And so in this environment, take away the Girl Power Alliance, what we're doing, this kingdom community, but just in the network marketing environment, you forge these bonds and relationships that are completely different. You are all in the same boat, the same vehicle, and everybody's rowing that boat at the same time. Their own unique goals, their own unique things. So the network marketing community becomes sometimes closer than family because you can share your dreams and your struggles with the people in your community on your team. And you don't necessarily share those with your family because they maybe don't agree, maybe they're not supportive. So you form these amazing relationships. And so so it was working. People were excited. There was a shift instantly when we added the opportunity, but the language was wrong because they were talking about it like we were this amazing Bible study, not this incredible income earning opportunity. So we really focused, this, Lemon, because you did it. We really focused on changing the language inside of the company so that I wouldn't show up at an event and people go, wow, I didn't even know I was here. I felt like somebody bait and switched them and they came to this meeting to hear about the opportunity that is Girl Power Alliance. And the result of that has just been some people left because they I don't know, they didn't fit into that. They were uncomfortable with it. There's still a lot of Christians that are uncomfortable talking about money. There's a whole slew of things. But this next crop of leaders that has come to the table, they see it, they get it.
I love that. I just did a podcast episode on is money anti-biblical? And is it okay for Christians to make money? Because people are very uncomfortable with it. And I love something you said. I remember it was probably last year. You were like, would you rather have money in the hands of kingdom people or in the hands of people who don't love the Lord? Which world seems better to you? And so I love what we're doing because you get to grow and find purpose and all these things, but also produce an income that changes lives.
Do you ever talk politics at all on your podcast?
Sometimes.
Okay, so I never talk politics, but I want to bring something up because women have a tendency, especially Christian women of faith, have a tendency to say, like, I don't really care about the money. I'm not really interested in the money. But I want to tell you something. Money gives you the ability to take your kids out of the public school system if you're unhappy with what's going on there and homeschool them because you can work from home and or you can afford a tutor to come and help you or put them in a private Christian school. Money gives you the ability to move out of a neighborhood that is riddled with crime and move into a neighborhood that is safer for your family. Money gives you the ability you have a child that has a gift or a desire or a dream, and you don't want them to go to the local public college because of the radical indoctrination that is happening in the college system, in the university system, and put them in a private Christian college. Money gives you the ability, if you have grandparents still, and they work their entire lives, and now they are barely making it on a sad little Social Security that they have left, because the cost of living is so high. Money gives you the ability to supplement their income and put them in either in a nice place or build a home on your property. It's money that gives you the ability to do that. It's a lie from the pit of hell to think that money is the enemy and that we as believers shouldn't be in control of it. I believe that so much of what's going on right now in our society that Christians are complaining about because we have stepped out. I grew up in the 80s, the Christian world of the 80s, where it was like, not of this world, not of this world. We're going to separate ourselves as Christians from schools, from politics, from all these things, because we're separate. We're not of this world. And my gosh, look at the result. Now, everything, it feels like has gone so sideways because Christians left the building. We should have stayed in politics. Not to manipulate. I'm not saying to manipulate with religion, but to have kingdom principles in the legislation that you move forward. We've left the school system. Instead of starting private schools, maybe we should have more kingdom people helping the school boards to make decisions that were in alignment with these moral values that most people have. The internet, the wealthy. Wouldn't you like to see a world where there was more kingdom-minded billionaires? I'm like done with that mentality. I'm done with it.
I love this so much. Actually, when Molly and I met the first time, Molly, and you guys, Molly will be on the show too in a few weeks. She was one of my first guests too. I felt like it was time for an update from you both. But Molly reached out to me the very same day that I was going to the school board to go fight the school board because we had and again, I feel like it's very obvious, but we had a they them teacher. The school hid it from me, and I live in rural Georgia. And the school hid it for months that they had replaced my child's teacher. And she came in, she had BLM and asexual pride on her elementary school lanyard. And I live in rural Georgia. I texted the vice principal. I said, "Are you still at school?" And she said, "Yes, I am." I said, "Great. I will be in your office in 92 seconds. The amount of time it takes me to walk from this classroom to your office is when I will be there." And she's okay. And she said, "You're not the first parent to pull this child from her class." And I was like, that alone should tell you have a problem. I said, but then we just happened to have a school board meeting the next night. We went, we spoke, and then I met with our state superintendent, and this person's no longer a teacher because he said, this is not New York. I'm sorry. Like,
it shouldn't be anywhere because Bobby and I were having this discussion yesterday. For those of you, that's my husband, Bobby. And I said, I was Googling something the other day because I couldn't remember, like, as a woman, do we have XX chromosome or XY? So I Googled it. It's XX. That's right. I don't know why
so.
It's XX for a woman. So I Googled it. Do you know what it says? I'm not even going to tell you. It's frightening that even Google has changed the definition. It's like some Males have an XX. No, they don't. That's not a male. And we got this whole discussion about what are they teaching in biology? If you remember in basic biology that you learn in fifth grade when you're learning human development, you're learning about the XX chromosome, the XY, you're learning about becoming a woman and getting your period. And you're learning the basics of puberty and stuff. What are they teaching now? And this is not hate. I have a transgendered person in my family. My son is gay. I have nothing but love for people. But I am telling you, there is an actual evil agenda. There is an evil agenda that is trying to rip away our kingdom identity from, and it starts with our children. 10 years ago, the number of people that identified as gay, lesbian, or transgendered was a very small percentage. And a study was just done very recently, and it's 30% of kids. 30. Why? Because it's being taught to them. You're talking about these moldable minds that are just trying to figure it out. And it is being the agenda that I believe is evil is coming in to rip their identity from them. Because what do you think the enemy wants? He wants less people knowing who they are in Christ. He wants less people making kingdom babies in this world and raising up the next generation of people that love the Lord. I believe that's an insidious and evil agenda. And we bear the responsibility as leaders, as people that love and follow Jesus, to take a stand. And Christians need to come back into the building, into this world. And I don't believe in activism. I believe activism in and of itself is evil. And I believe it creates such negativity because as an activist, you are focused on all of the negative things that you don't want to see in the world. So I am not for activism, but I am for actionism. That's what I'm for. I'm for being the hands and feet of Christ, loving people, showing the world what it actually is to be an undefendable leader. And this premise that we have as believers is that we serve the one God. It is everything is about forgiveness and service to others and putting others before ourselves. How is that a bad thing? I mean, I get it. People have manipulated Christian. We know this. Religion has manipulated people. Religion puts people in category and does a lot of damage. But following Jesus heals and restores.
Gosh, I love this. This is such a good, I'm excited about what we're talking about because I feel personally like GPA has equipped me to go and do the things that I'm called to do and to stand up for the things that I believe in and do it eloquently, right? And to do it like a Jesus follower. Listen, I'm from New Jersey. We can be a little hood and holy sometimes. And now I live in rural Georgia. So, we're a little different down here, but I still have the little hood pieces in me. But being here, I've definitely figured out a way to lead and to show up and to be different in the world because we are in the world.
Yes.
And so I get to be different because of the skill set I've learned here and have the resources to do the
Listen,
things we want to do.
nothing is a worse representation of being a follower of Christ than standing on a corner and picketing and spewing hate at the people that you don't agree with. Nothing is a worse representation. The better representation is being an example in your life as a mother, as a wife, in the community, in your business, in your job, being an example, showing love, doing for other people and giving and not always worrying about what's in it for me. The world has taught us that it's all about what's in it for me. This hedonistic, which I believe this demonic agenda of indoctrinating children to believe that God is in everyone and you are God. This whole new agey kind of, it's demonic. And you have the same power as God, and you are a God. And so the world should step aside and you get to have everything you want. Jesus served. He served people. He loved people. He met them where they were at, and he called them higher behavior, higher love, higher responses to the world. And we got fallen into it. One of the things that is my mission with what we're doing at Girl Power Alliance is to help people to step into their actual identity, not the identity that their parents wanted for them or their spouse or their job, but the identity that when God knit you together in your mother's womb, because that's what the word says, he actually had a purpose for you. He had a plan. He knew he gave you these giftings, these desires, these skills and talents he gave you. And so when you begin to tear off all the stuff that life trauma experiences has given you, and you actually can start to see that person that God created you to be, oh my gosh, You are an unstoppable force, and the enemy does not want you to know that. So he works hard to keep you from that. And everything we do inside of our community, that's why we're obsessed with personal, professional leadership development. So we want to tear off all this stuff that isn't really that identity and help you to see and then step into that kingdom identity. That changes everything in your own life, in your family's life. And then as a result, the ripple effect of everybody you interact with, who your kids are interacting with, that's how we change the world.
I have such a real life example of what we've done here and the transformation. So, I am not the same person I was when I first joined here in May of 2022. It's been that long. I'm not even remotely the same. I don't look the same. I've had people join this company because they're like, I don't even recognize you at this point, and it's only been a year and a half, which I think is amazing. I think it is truly beautiful, but I've seen such a difference. So, poor Michelle is getting to know my husband now because he's in our Radiant Leadership Academy because we just launched for men too. That's been a really beautiful thing to witness. But my husband said, he's like, the reason I'm doing it is because I've seen such a change in you that I have no choice. If I want our marriage to work, then I have to continue growing because you're just going to continue to grow and I need to match it alongside of you, which is beautiful. But then this Christmas, I'm going to get emotional talking about it, but my kids are walking through some very difficult things right now. And they have a beautiful bus driver that we love him so much. He's our real estate agent. We love him. And his mother, I will never forget, the kids came home from school and they said, can we pray for our bus driver's mom? And I was like, yep, of course we can. What I didn't know is that they'd been praying with this bus driver about his mom for weeks while she was sick. And when his mom passed and he was out for a week, my kids, again, praying with this man before they go to school. And so Glenn gets a call. I'm going to get so emotional. Glenn gets a call from our bus driver and he said, hey, is your wife home? I have something I need to bring by the house. And like, yeah, of course, no problem. I'm thinking the kid left something on the bus. Right? I don't know. For some reason, he wasn't going to see them or whatever. This man pulls up to my house with a truck full of Christmas presents for my children. So much so, we took multiple trips and it filled my entire kitchen table. And he said to me, he said, your kids, he said, I know what they're walking through. Like, not the full extent, but I know what they're walking through. And he said, and they've made it a point to pray with me in my situation every single day. And it's had an impact on my faith and it's had an impact on my wife and our friends and the rest of my family because they just keep talking about the faith of your children. And obviously that's because of you and your husband and your faith. And so I talked to my kids and they're like, I mean, that's what you do for other people, Mom. This is how you show up for other people. No matter what's going on in our household, you show up for other people. And so I love I'm going to shut up or I will just ugly cry on this podcast, but that is what we're doing here. Like, we're raising up generations of children who are going to do something different, who are just going to be different. And it starts with us being different. And so, you know how I feel about this community. I've seen it in my household.
It's pretty life-changing. And we just have story after story. I just heard a story on Monday of a woman who has gone through the Radiant Leadership Academy, that you are one of our coaches. You are teaching that class. I don't know when this podcast will come out, but you just started a class, I think yesterday?
Today. We started a new class today.
Today. You started a new class today. And this is our 16-week biblical leadership program. It's our signature program here. And a woman in my class said, she was sharing that this was her, I think it's her third round going through the 16 weeks, and that had some marital problems or whatever. And she said that over the summer, because of the way that she began to show up in her family, that over the summer, her husband said to her that he wanted to apologize, that he hasn't been a good leader in the family. She didn't say anything, but he was watching her behavior and her model, what she was doing, what she was modeling, the way she was interacting with their children and him had such an impact on him that he actually felt convicted that he hadn't been leading in the way that he should with his family. That alone changed the family. And they had something go on with one of their kids. I think it was a teenager. And she'd been using what we have in RLA, the conflict resolution, our formula for conflict, because none of you have any conflict in your lives, right? It's just us. But we really want to walk you like real world stuff, how to deal with conflicts, how to have these hard conversations. Anyway, she'd been doing that with her children, and her husband hasn't gone through RLA. He doesn't know anything about the class or anything. I'm sure she shared tidbits, but She said she watched just this past weekend, she watched her husband listen to him basically almost go exactly with her child that had that whatever the issue was with the conflict resolution formula, even though he doesn't know it, because has been watching her, been model this behavior for a couple of years now, because this is her third time, so at least a year. And that's profound. This is a profound thing, because what the enemy wants to do is he wants to tear families apart. He wants to create strife and division and offense in between spouses, parents and children, brothers and sisters. And so as we step into this kingdom identity, and we're so changed, you cannot engage in a real intimate relationship with the Lord and not be changed. You can't. Now, this is not going to church. You can go to church week after week. You can sing the praises. You can even raise your hand up, and you cannot be changed, because this is an act. But the intimate relationship that you're in with the Lord is different. It is having this one-on-one connection where the Holy Spirit is speaking to you not just on the daily, every minute of every day, and you become changed. It's not that, oh, now I need to act like this because I became a believer. That is bunk. That's religion, and it's a lie. But when you get to experience something, you actually desire to change. Your heart begins to change. The walls, this blocks around that you have used to protect yourself from people, they begin to melt. You begin to see people differently, and you begin to behave differently and speak differently. It's all different. And this is the exact opposite of what the enemy wants. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want your heart softened. He doesn't want relationships reconciled. He doesn't want you to have this one-on-one, instantaneous, on-demand communication with the Lord. And so that's exactly what we're doing. We're doing the opposite of what he wants.
I love that so much. We could talk about this for hours. We do usually. I think I've talked to you every day for the last week, which is great, because I love these conversations. But if somebody was listening and they're like, "Oh, Michelle, this all sounds great, but A, I don't know that like this would be a good opportunity for me," or B, it's like, I'm not really a leader. What would you say?
I love it. Okay, a couple of things. I don't know anybody who doesn't need extra money or more money. I don't know a single person who doesn't need it. This is an unbelievable opportunity with the potential for you to literally, it's an unlimited potential. How big can you dream? That's the truth. That's the truth about network marketing companies in general. The way that we have designed Girl Power Alliance is to keep it simple. You could, the highest level, the most expensive business buy in network marketing, they have this package, and this is the business builder pack. Generally speaking, it's usually around $1,000. The biggest package here at Girl Power Alliance is $446.99. And this is your entire business with a monthly overhead of $149.99. And you can share the opportunity for people to dive into growth that will help them to actually become the person they were designed to be. And every time you do that, you have the ability to get paid. This is a digital product. After 2020, I realized I wanted nothing in what's going on in the world to stop my business from running ever again. I always had businesses that were products, Me Too type products. And we couldn't get them. They couldn't get made. They couldn't get shipped. Problem after problem. It's still going. That 2020 changed the shipping world globally forever. It's better than it was in 2020, but it's not the same. So now you have a digital business. You don't have to stock product. You can't manipulate it. You can't bonus buy. You just have the ability to be this incredible mouthpiece for something that's helping you to step into everything that you could be, literally for less than a dinner out on a date night, less than a date night. And so our goal this year is to create, can I just go bold, Lemon?
Do it.
Because of the way that we started, because of the fact that we are a Christian company. Now, I want to say something, because I watched a post the other day, and the post said, tell me the name of a Christian network marketing company. The question was something, that's not exactly it, but it was that to that effect. The person was asking if anybody knew network marketing companies that were Christian. And there was a whole slew of them listed. I don't remember the names of them, but some names I had heard of and some that I hadn't. And not one of them is a Christian company. There is a difference between having an owner who has a Christian belief system and an actual company that the product is based in Jesus. There is a difference. This is an actual Christian company. And I am on a mission this year to prove to the world that this company that was founded, that it was God's idea. Every decision that has been made because it was the direction I felt that God was leading me to take. And this year, we are going to prove that this company that was Jesus' idea is going to produce six-figure earners and beyond. We're still young, so I'll take six-figure earners this year. Next year, it's going to be multiple six. But we're going to produce that this year because I am tired of people believing that just because of what we are, a Christian company with Christian products, that we cannot produce the same thing that other companies out there that may or may not have less integrity, it's not my business, are out there producing and allowing people to earn money in ways that may not be aligned with their faith, in ways that the typical network marketing kind of the bait and switch that's so normal in the profession, products that really aren't that great, you know what I mean? But you're just buying them because it's your product for your company. We're shifting all of that here. And I know that it's going to happen. I really do. I know it's going to happen. I know you are going to be one of them, Lemon. You're going to be at the top of that list. And we are going to take a whole bunch of other people with us. And now we can take men with us because we just started the Real Men Alliance. So men can be a part of what we're doing as well.
I love it so much. I love what we're doing. Yeah, I fully intend. Michelle knows part of my vision this year is to fund a ministry in full by September. I told her September the 15th, I want my check from Girl Power Alliance to be over 20 grand because there's a ministry that I want to fund in full and it costs $20,000 a year to fund that ministry. And so we're going for it and doing it in a way that honors Jesus. So I just love you. I thank you so much for what we're doing here. Y'all, I will link to all of Michelle's stuff to connect with her too. If you want to get on a call with me and Michelle, we will do it. We love it. She's not too busy, I promise, to get on a call with you.
I'll make sure I'm never too busy for that.
She's amazing like that. So just thank you for being here, Michelle. I love and appreciate you.
I'm so proud of you and all that you've accomplished just in this 1 year, never knowing anything about network marketing and just coming in and just being an amazing student of the profession and learning and just really leading, seeing what you've done, being featured in Forbes this year, last year twice, having your podcast being ranked. And those are outside of what you're doing inside of your team and just mentoring and leading these women, teaching the Radiant Leadership Academy multiple times in the last year. I could not be more impressed by you, more proud of you. I know your husband and your boys are so proud of you. I know your team members are so proud to be on your team. And I am so happy that God led you to Girl Power Alliance.
Thank you, friend. I love you.
Love you too.
You heard it here. Michelle and I are on a mission to help women make six figures this year. And so if you're like, I want to make six figures, Lemon, then come and join me. Whether you're listening to this before the 7th or not, come and join me. Come hang out with me. I promise I am ready to run and walk alongside of you. You can come and meet Michelle. Michelle will do a call with you. All you have to do is send me a message, say, hey, I want to meet her. I want to get on a call with her and see how this opportunity would be good for me. We will do it. I have Michelle's personal cell phone number, so I can make that happen real quick, my friend. So if you're sitting here and you're listening to this episode and you're like, I need an opportunity, I need something different in my life. I want my life to look different. I want to develop as a leader. I want to step into leadership. Then seriously, send me a message on Instagram or go to girlpoweralliance.com/lemon and just sign up as a VIP ambassador. Just do it. You are going to be so thankful that you did because 2024 is going to look different. We're doing something very expansive and explosive here. And I'm so excited about it. And I want you to be a part of it. If you've been a listener of this podcast, then I know this is for you. And so do not delay what God has for you any longer, my friend. I cannot wait to welcome you into this little family that we have, our special, beautiful family that we have. Hey friend, what a joy it has been to share today's journey with you. If you found a spark of inspiration or a nugget of wisdom that resonated, would you bless someone else by sharing this episode with them? It could be the encouragement they need to step into their purpose and calling. Also, if you could spare a moment to leave a review, it would mean the world to me. I really appreciate your feedback and it really helps our community grow. Remember, the road to discovering God's call for you isn't one you have to walk alone. So join me again next Monday for another episode where we'll continue to explore the depths of leadership and the heights of our heavenly calling. Until then, keep seeking, keep growing, and keep trusting in His plan. God bless you, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye, friend.